William James Gaither, stage name Bill Gaither, is an American Southern gospel and contemporary Christian music artist, being the lead in two successful groups, the Bill Gaither Trio and the Gaither Vocal Band. Debuting in the 50s and still active today, he is also a record businessman, managing both Gaither's Studios, a recording studio, and the Gaither Music Group record label, both located in his hometown of Alexandria, Indiana. The Gaither Music Group being possibly the largest independent religious record label. But when you climb so high, at what point is it really independent? But one of the gospel singer's business motives was to make cartoons. And why? Well, let's just get the obvious out of the way, the success of VeggieTales.
If you like to talk to tomatoes.
Being a CG animated series with themes and stories in relation to Christianity, it was exceptionally successful for both direct-to-video animation and religious programming, due to being well made enough to be successful beyond its target demographic of children in religious households. It was a creative miracle that somehow managed to collectively please everybody regardless of age or religious identity.
It's forcing you the message without any compassion or mercy, resulting the film to be ridiculously preachy.
That's the point, you f***ing drill bit. I saw very little of it growing up, but I did like what I saw then. I can recall segments being aired on the TV screens at Chuck E. Cheese. And by the way, the master copies of the Charles Entertainment Cheese show tapes have since leaked to the public. You can binge all the lore at home, at least from 88 to 2014.
And I was like, baby, 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 no, like, baby, 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 no.
Which includes VeggieTales songs. I think I also saw, like, part of the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything movie at a friend's house at once or something. And of course, the success expanded its relevant market. And with the help of Benji Gaither, one of Bill's sons, Live Bait Productions, an animation studio, was founded in 1997, utilizing the family label-owned music of the Gaithers and the library of their record label. So what happens when a gospel singer tries to make cartoons, seemingly only for cash and not 3/4 for the Lord? Well, let me tell you, it's a disaster.
Say, look at this. I've been cleaning out my nest, and I found an old book of my poetry.
He said that he had seen God, and God told him to raise $8 million. God was broke.
Visit us at www.livebaitproductions.com for information on this upcoming release. The Legend at Gaither's Pond is the fourth story in a lively animated Gaither's Pond video series.
The debut of Live Bait Productions was Gaither's Pond, created by Benji with other relative Amy Michelle Gaither, starring Gaither Vocal Band vocalist Mark Lowry, in addition to co-starring Bill and his wife and prominent bandmate Gloria Gaither. Gaither's Pond would release 4 episodes, specials, whatever you want to call them, between 1997 and 2004. First on home media, and would also be syndicated on Smile of a Child.
Television network.
A name that lives in infamy for kids forced to watch religious shows. I didn't have to personally, thanks Redditor parents, but this network is just an uncanny rabbit hole in of itself. It is also a subsidiary of the Trinity Broadcasting Network, this being the 24-hour children's alternative. If you were a toddler in the 2000s, especially if raised in a religious household, and there's like a weird piece of media that confused or scared you that you can barely remember since you were either like so young that you repressed the trauma, it was probably a show running on Smile of a Child, because this was basically religious PBS. It was free and had faith and also the recession, so it was free. Running such classics as Auto Be Good, Ha Ha Ha, Get Up, which came out a year before Pixar's Cars, Hermie and Friends, the notorious JJ the Jet Plane, Charlie the Church Mouse, which, by the way, is educational Bible stories, PC game, and software, and My Bed Bugs for some reason, which wasn't even a religious show, but I guess was cheap to syndicate, and how could we possibly forget Joy Junction?
And do you know what it was? What was it, Marty? Well, it was in Arizona, I'll tell you that right now. Ron, they were looking at some dirty pictures and they wanted me to look too.
It was also the primary way to watch the original VeggieTales videos on television. So in the 2000s, if you didn't own the original videos but you saw them, you probably saw them here. As I've described before, most religious programming does not receive mainstream releases due to the biases not allowing a general audience of consumers, so it doesn't have a huge production budget or distribution budget, etc. And also, again, it was made primarily by a record company and a Nepo Babies animation studio. Gaither's Pond, distribution-wise, is similar to the original VeggieTales videos or Peanuts TV specials, where it's basically an episode of a show per special, but it doesn't qualify as one due to the results of not being TV episodes in a season, regardless of the similar runtime. Gaither's Pond, distribution-wise, does not have a season. The 4 specials being The Lore Depths, Fish Tales, The Great Divide, and The Legend of. And if you can't tell by the covers, they use CGI. So a first-time independent project with no budget utilizing technology in its infancy? What would that look like?
Vision blurring. Body expanding.
What can we do? Big Bass Bill says everyone's welcome here at Gaither's Pond.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Or no, wait, what am I talking about, infancy? This was 1999. CG standards were much higher, and Bill Gaither is apparently worth $8 million. I don't know about 99, but regardless, he was an industry professional since the 1950s. Like, he clearly had way more money for this Ponzi scheme. This was cheaping out. I mean, like, it's set in a swamp, so puke green everything galore. Now, the elephant in the room is the character designs. They have oddly complex facial features which are fairly repulsive. No, extremely repulsive when they move.
Look at Barbie. What a scary bitch.
He's like a fish. Why does he look like Shaq? There's no stylization in making anthropomorphic animals. The facial hair being the most distracting, like why do they have beards? The actual animals don't. A big part of the show was its all-star lineup of musicians affiliated with Bill Gaither, to the point where it shows the voice actors in the intro, which I guess is supposed to be a selling point for the adult fans of the Gaither's label and genre who bought the for their kids. But what kid is gonna be like, oh shit, Vistal Goodman is in this show? It feels desperate to exploit iconography that it doesn't have. Like, do most kids at the time even know who these people are or their music? You know, enough to want to watch a show with them in it? If you want to count it as celebrity endorsement media, it completely fails at basic celebrity exploitation. But this also brings up the question, are these people even celebrities? It's like if I made like a Carrie Cleveland show. Like, yeah, she's on Google, but no stupid child is gonna get hyped over that. Because although by definition professional gospel musicians, they're not f***ing Aretha Franklin. The Gaither's vocal band music is utilized throughout, as well as other musicians including Mark Lowry's solo work, Craig Duncan, the Happy Goodmans, and other obscure gospel names. So I guess to make the characters more recognizable, there's supposed to be like animal caricatures of the voice actors, but you know, they're humans. They just inserted human facial attributes that would probably take away more work that they didn't need to do.
President Vestal Gooseman. That has a nice sound to it.
Hail to the goose, Vestal Gooseman is our leader.
It's just going all over the place. It's commendable that there's energy visible, but it's just incomprehensible on top of the repulsive character anatomy. It's like Annoying Orange, but CG with its emphasis on realism. Oh no, wait, it's like Shark Tale, but even worse. The animals don't move like their actual counterparts. I think it takes influence from like Looney Tunes or just anything from like the 30s or 40s, you know, when Bill Gaither himself was a kid, with its bizarre expressions. But every face is like a Looney Tunes reaction face, which of course looks like shit because it's 3D, and nobody's getting whacked in the face with a big ass mallet. Why are they loony? Did they show up to communion right after a Coke binge? It's not really a joke if there's no breaks in the loony bin expressions. Ren and Stimpy did this exact thing of constant absurd expressions for shock value, but here it's a clear intentional attempt at fluidity, failing to realize the actual expressions are poor and things need to be on screen long enough so the viewers can absorb it. The framing is also ridiculous. It's always cutting to like some other thing which is also moving. There's no moderation to make things visible. Like these fish can't stay still for 10 f***ing seconds. Style is style, and it's a shit style, much like this channel. And sometimes it'll be framed in a way where something is blocking what we're supposed to see. Like, is this f***ing goose vagina POV shot necessary? Did they just make up the shots as they went along? Was this even storyboarded? It's super precise with its unneeded absurdism. Like, there's always got to be some kooky expression in every frame, and it's horrific. Oh yeah, the actual show is about a carp named Carl who looks more like a shark because these characters and animal proportions make zero sense. And he's getting in predicaments and learning a lesson along the way. The voice of reason being Buddy Greenfly. Being created by and starring musicians, it's also a musical show. The musical numbers featuring all the same problems of just being way too energetic and unintentionally disturbing. The songs themselves are just way too long for half-hour episodes. There's like 4-ish 3-minute songs per 20-ish minute episode. The general lack of storytelling is clearly just done out of a laziness. It's like they had to build a plot around a pre-existing songs they didn't even bother re-recording for context. Or let's just make animated music videos with a plot. It's an incredibly unsparing repurpose. They just cross-dissolve in and out, irrelevantly translating sequences like Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick. My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my...
Now, the songs themselves aren't actually that bad, and that's exactly the problem with the show. They're out of place. And it's extra nightmare fuel given the amount of awful fish characters harmonizing together. It's like a POV of being a ritual victim. But believe it or not, what I just showed you is the second iteration of the art style. From episodes/specials, whatever, 2 and 3. This is what episode 1 looks like.
I thought I told you to stay with me.
I was just having a look at this here shiny thing.
No, Guppy. You don't want to do that.
Episode 1 looks like Roblox. And this is before all the questionable musician character designs and Looney Tunes faces.
I mean, breaking our laws and things. You have responsibility. Act like a responsible guppy. Okay? I don't know what this world's coming to.
But without all the unintentionally disturbing pizzazz it would develop, it's just awkward dragging. Reminds me of Angela Anaconda's TV series being the second iteration somehow. It's shocking to discover it gets worse. But on the contrary, the 4th and final episode is actually an improvement animation-wise. The textures are more detailed and less repulsive, and the Looney Tunes is cranked down for the better. And hopefully that saved time in the animation department, because work smarter, not harder, you know? But the character designs are mostly the same and still inexcusably grotesque. But there is one lizard character that actually looks like a lizard, not modeled after some random Christian musician. The finale, The Legend of Gaither's Pond, is also hyped up as some big special episode. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a finale with a bang, but good timing, I guess. In between musical numbers, it has ridiculously hard to follow conversations, both through dialogue and visuals. There's not really any, like, experiences in the conflicts, it's just talking. Like, hey, weird fish, don't do that. Okay, I won't do that. Thanks, fellow hellspawn neighbor. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Like, I get trying to keep it simple to make room for the tunes, but, like, plots still need to happen. The only thing they had a vision for was the music, except the music was just repurposing. So they had one idea, and even that was lazy. Nobody of the right hustle of creativity was brought in. They didn't know how to develop a show, but they did it anyway, and that's not a good thing. They didn't fight the limitations. They it up completely. Like, there's so many different ways you can be creative, but one team, one person cannot do everything, but they said to hell with that basic practice standard. The only visible effort is the absurdist ordinary expressions. Like, I doubt they hired, like, actual cartoonists and television producers, seemingly out of laziness or arrogance. Yeah, we can do everything. My dad's rich. We're not even gonna get this entire large ensemble of gospel musicians to do their job and sing because they've already sung before. Why be creative when you could just pay a licensing fee? Oh wait, we own this music, we don't need to. Let's just abuse it. It's like it off the cuff, the animated show, you know, animation, the very easy and uncomplicated medium. It just tried to scoop up some of VeggieTales' market popularity with a bunch of incomprehensible slop made by a nepo baby that didn't earn a budget. Here, son, go make daddy a show so we can have even more money. Who cares if 1 Timothy 6:10 says that for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. And we have a multi-million-dollar music family already. We need more money. Disregard Exodus 20:15. We gotta steal from VeggieTales. I saw the light and the Lord told me to get $8 million more, Benji. More like, Gaither's Pond. It's not some flawed show made by a small team of people that truly cared about what they were doing. They just wanted to make off VeggieTales. It's like Peppermint Park, actually. You want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but then you sit down and watch the damn thing, and you're like, oh my god, it's actually ripping off the thing. It's not just similar. This is very evident by the next live bait / Gaither production, which was co-created by Benji Gaither. Dorbees Making Decisions, which is both artistically and fiscally just a flat-out VeggieTales ripoff. The Gaithers' attempt at stealing VeggieTales' market share with their own thing didn't work in the end, so they just threw "Thou shall not steal" out the goddamn window and fully plagiarized without a doubt. Dorbees Making Decisions was presumably a failed pilot for another Gaithers animated series. I guess Gaither's Pond performed better on the home video market due to the fact that it was a masterclass in failing the celebrity exploit. But the DVD cover is also mostly just purple. Like, it's not gonna get somebody's mom's attention in the $5 movie section. Yeah, remember those? It also had a VHS release, but those are seemingly way more rare. The main slogan of the series is, "Why don't they go away?" Except that's not like a thing people say. Is it like a joke or a rhetorical question about the concept? I don't get it. The Dorbees themselves are a species of human and spherical creatures. They're not orbs, they're Dorbes.
I got this free. Man. You know what? I'd love to join your band. Can I join your band? You know what? I just cannot.
Christmas. Boomhauer, I didn't understand a word you just said.
Yeah, that is this whole special. So a more accurate slogan would be, "Why don't they shut the up?" I first came across this thing maybe like 10 years ago. It's kind of infamous online, and I assumed it was like some forgotten toy advertisement tie-in for a 2000s collectible, like a Mighty Beans or a childhood favorite of mine, Go-Go's Crazy Bones.
I'm so happy I need to smoke a cigarette. I haven't had one in 17 years.
It reminds me of the Weebles specials, The Quest for the Golden Flicker, An Infamous Piece of Lost Media, and Higglytown Heroes. Whatever this subgenre of like 2000s bad CG specifically shaped people media is. It's like one of those plus VeggieTales ripoff, not helped by the fact that VeggieTales character designs retain very simple geometry. Given the entire cast being a variant of a single thing, spherical people probably would have provided another business opportunity for collectibles. But making everybody a spear with arms and legs was a terrible decision because spears roll. Like, they're not supposed to do that. They're like moonwalking because they're too short to bend their knees. Like, imagine if Bob the Tomato had arms and legs and that was every character design. Where are their f***ing kneecaps? You know, the things your legs have? At least the characters in, like, The Pack is Back had, like, long legs to move coherently. And why? Because Pack's a hero. Pack just can't be beat. Yeah! If Mr. Potato Head woke up from a post-communion coke binge, he'd move like this. The actual Dorbees themselves consist of multiple ensembles for some reason. It's like a variety show or an anthology, but not really. It's just multiple unrelated plots within the world of Dorbees. Maybe it's supposed to be like a show within a show because there's occasional, like, cutaways of, like, some redneck stepdad falling asleep to it. So I guess by this logic, Dorbees is a fake television cable package, and we watch various fake shows. I guess I'll go over each plot/show whatever individually. And by the way, this is only 34 minutes long with credits, so nothing much happens in the unnecessary large quantity of plots that it takes time away from all of the stories. But first, the theme song. It asks the question, why don't they go away?
I see Dorbees, why don't they go away?
Which, if we were to interpret too literally and actually answer, it's because Dorbees live here, it's their world. The opening introductory narration literally confirms this.
Live the Dorbees.
They don't go away because they live here. It's such a stupid rhetorical question that's also a slogan. And what do you know, not much of an upgrade from Gaither's Pond. The backgrounds aren't even completely filled. You can see like the cutoffs and the textures and stuff. The framing is even more illogical and disgusting. The narrator in the sequences is looking down and not at the audience, and he's right in front of the camera. The main plot, I think, is about two students, Jack and Mary Jane, ditching school. And there's a lot of parody humor similar to VeggieTales' use of pop culture to draw parallels to biblical rhetoric often found in the source material. Here, when they try to leave school, it's like Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible for some reason, which doesn't help the case that they shouldn't ditch class. Like, if there was a f***ing boulder in the school, I'd want to get out of here. I ain't getting crushed to death in third period. Like, what is this, the School of Death? But to give the special credit, there is one decent song.
Walking down the aisle, tripped over Uncle Howard's boot. And then my dress went woo! Everybody laughed and said, oh, how cute! Remember, yes, ma'am, and thank you, please, and curtsy on your way out.
The flow isn't the best, but it's actually pretty catchy. On the subject of sound design, the voice acting isn't horrible either. The actual dialogue is what really gets it into Dorbees, why don't they shut the f*** up territory. But they leave school and boo, haunted house. But the house isn't haunted. Jimmy Hoffa and Elvis live there. Jimmy Hoffa was a renowned American labor union leader who disappeared in 1975, presumably due to connections with organized crime.
The American people with the fact that this is a strike-breaking, union-busting bill, in my opinion.
I guess the Jimmy Hoffa references are for the adults. Like, you'd have to be, like, Italian or something to get that joke on. Not that I'm one of those creepy Italians who think they're smooth. Like, I get an Elvis parody. I think most people my age were probably introduced to Elvis through parody humor in media.
Oh, yeah. Steamed vegetables. What'd Mama make for you? 9 fried peanut butter banana sandwiches and a thermos full of tranquilizers. Thank you very much. Yep. I have left the building.
You know, because he himself was a character.
Lord have mercy.
But f***ing Jimmy Hoffa?
Hey, yo, the pizza here.
Oh yeah, and then the duo learns that they shouldn't ditch school and go to a haunted house or bad things will happen to them because Jack gets stuck in the bottom of the basement like baby Jessica. Get it? Because random history reference.
Are you okay, son? We were worried sick about you. I'm sorry, Dad. I guess I really made a bad decision today.
Son, there's gonna be plenty of time for you to grow up. And you know what?
What?
Tomorrow's a brand new day.
And do they get punished at the end? Nope. Next is about Otto, who is just an Arnold Schwarzenegger parody because pop culture reference that isn't clever.
Thank you. I am Otto. I am looking for some clothes that will make me more discreet, and then I can fit in better with the common folk.
And he wants clothes, so he goes to this guy who looks like he's afraid of bitches with penises, and the whole plot is just a series of shopping montages because looking good and feeling fine.
Got a penis. Got a penis.
And then DJ's like, you should go to a different store because those clothes would suit you better and I don't want to manipulate you into giving my business money. And by the way,
Want to smack your grandma wrinkly ass. Wrinkly ass.
I guess it's about honesty, only in like the last 2 minutes, and a shopping montage subplot is pretty f***ing fruity for Christian show standards. There's also Mr. Poe and Yogel, a superhero parody segment.
Star, strongest Dorbee in the world, who's loved by every boy und girl und yak. It's Mr. Paul und Jogel.
Definitely not inspired by Larry Boy. And again, I didn't grow up with VeggieTales, I'm no expert, so I wouldn't be surprised if there were other plagiarisms I didn't notice.
Who makes his living fighting crime?
Like, look at this shit. I just got some, like, stock models off of Napster.com and didn't even repose them. Oh no, Yogel gets captured by the Chick-fil-A cow. Mr. Poe saves him the end.
Live on News 9, your dumbass just sold a 16-year-old girl a pack of cigarettes.
More like Dorbees, nuts in your f***ing mouth. If you want to count it as a failed pilot, it's easily the worst one I've ever seen.
Bah humbug, you stupid bitch.
Damn it.
But before the end of the show, there are also a handful of other Gaither live bait productions I was not able to get my hands on. Like, you'd have to own a DVD, which are rare due to minimum manufacturing, which I guess makes them lost media due to inaccessibility.
If you like this video, then take a look at this trailer of our new animated pilot we've created. Introducing Wobots.
But jump into the mid-2000s, the newest available one is a Wobots Christmas, which is surprisingly an actually pretty decent little generic holiday special. Wobots referencing the protagonist Zach's speech impediment.
A wobot.
No, a robot!
In a dark, far future of late-stage capitalism where orphans are enslaved for labor, Zach becomes distasteful over Christmas as it's just more work on his unfortunate part. But after befriending robots intended to be scrapped, which he saves, he learns to appreciate the actual meaning of Christmas, which he completely misunderstood to begin with, given the situation he was born and forced into. It's actually shocking how Christ is sparingly used in a way that isn't tacky or lazy. It's kind of like a Charlie Brown Christmas and Rudolph combined, at least morally. The music, once again, not horrendous. The opening number, Overtime, which I can't play for copyright, is actually really catchy and does a good job of displaying character motivations. Some of the dialogue is genuinely funny, too.
Fantastic. PD3 personal assistant. Reason for return?
What?
What's wrong with it?
He's broken, I guess.
Wobot is woken. What else are you doing today, kid? Hunting for wabbits?
The concept is so surprisingly dark that it uses it to its advantage for comedy.
Don't sass me, boy. It's because you're always crying about something. Give us pillows for the beds. Feed us 3 times a day. Give us shoes. Gimme.
And yeah, the animation is amazing, but it's not bowling alley slop. If you like weird 2000s shit along the lines of like Scary Godmother, then I actually recommend it. That's not anything amazing, but it looks like if it's your thing for nostalgia value, then you'll probably have a fun time. Not much to say, and also not much to get mad over. And you know why? Because Benji Gaither was only credited as a voice actor, and the special was recorded at Gaither Studios. So it actually succeeds because it's the least actual Gaither. There was an actual idea here, and I can't call it a VeggieTales ripoff, which is not the case at all for Gaither's Pond and Dorbees.
'Twas Christmas Day, and all through the house, the creatures that were stirring were my family and me and our 2 cats. We entered Christmas Day in my bedroom of wonder and fun, because we have plenty of stuff around the house. On this day of Jesus' birth, upon the arrival of my doorstep, we find